welcome to a different edition of the Rediscovery channel, where Ivor and myself, Stilber, do a new section called Rediscovery Channel Reacts. And this week, I want to look at a post that I recently read, sent to me by my wife, actually, about Christians in Ethiopia. And it's an article by the New York Post about the Ark of the Covenant. And basically, let me get right into it. But basically, it's about these Orthodox Christians that are defending this ark with their lives. And yeah, let me get into it. So um, the article goes like this: They were slaughtered trying to stop real life raiders of the lost ark, an artifact so powerful and holy they were forbidden from ever seeing it. The harrowing mass murder of at least 800 people at an Ethiopian church in Tigray, which is the north western part of Ethiopia, highlighted the apparent whereabouts of the Ark of the Covenant, one of the biggest mysteries in religion and the stuff of movie legend. The Ark, a large gold covered wooden chest set to hold Moses' Ten Commandments, was held at the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem for centuries, but vanished after Jerusalem was sacked in 586 or 587 BC, according to the Old Testament.
Mm.
Yeah. Since then, its whereabouts have remained unknown, with rumors including it being stolen by the Knights Templar and hidden in a rebuilt French cathedral, as well as being buried alongside Alexander the Great in Greece. However, Ethiopia's Orthodox Christians have long maintained that the Ark has been held in a chapel at the Church of Saint Mary of Zion in the holy northern city of Aksum. Right, so this is the Church of Saint Mary of Zion.
Looks cool.
Looks cool, yeah. So, according to legend, the Ark was brought to Ethiopia in the 10th century BC after being stolen by the staff of Menelik, the son of the Queen of Sheba, and King Solomon of Israel, who
Is they
deemed the theft.
stolen? Hold up.
Yeah, yeah,
Stolen by the staff of Menelik.
yeah,
Uh,
the son of Queen of Sheba and King Solomon of Israel. And apparently, they deemed the theft was permitted by God because none of his men were killed. Yeah, so the ark is said to be so dangerous that it was always covered while moved. And in Axum, only virgin monks ordained to be its keeper are allowed to look at it. So so they have never seen any photographs of it, only illustrations based on the description from Exodus chapter 25, verse 10 to 21, of an acacia wood box covered in gold and carried on two poles. And even the patriarch of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is forbidden from seeing it. His Holiness Abunas Paulos told the Smithsonian Magazine in 2007, apparently. And the guardian of the ark is the only person on earth who has that peerless honor, which was said at the time. So the guardian has to pray constantly by the ark, day and night, burning incense before it and paying tribute to God. So only he can see it. All others are forbidden to lay eyes on it or even go close to it. And the reason this hit the news, this was in February 2021. But it was because there was an attack on this place. This is a split off region of Ethiopia, and there's a civil war going on there. I don't know if you've heard about it, if
yeah,
it's been,
no, that's been going on for a while.
yeah. So
Yeah.
apparently it's an ethnic minority there that's 96% Orthodox Christian, and their language is more closely related to the language of Eritrea. And they were marching on the capital of Ethiopia, and I think they almost made it. But in the last moment, they were beaten back by drone strikes. They bought drones from countries like Israel and Turkey. Um, the government did, Anyway, so thousands gathered at the Zion Church in late November. That was in 2020 to celebrate the day Ethiopians believed the Ark of the Covenant was brought there, which was one of the reasons there were so many people during the November slaughter. When people heard the shooting, they ran to the church to give support to the priests and others who were there protecting the Ark. A university lecturer told the Times of London. Certainly, some of them were killed for doing that. Reports of the destruction and looting of priceless artifacts by troops prompted fears that the Ark would be targeted. Everyone was worried it would be taken or just disappear, including me, Mac told the paper. It was not immediately clear how the church Ark was saved, nor what happened to its guardian. And then it goes a little bit about some historians also insist that the sacrifices were made to defend a worthless replica. So apparently there are other reconstructions, and this professor basically denies that or thinks it's a worthless replica. Anyway, um, but Ethiopians they have long brushed aside such reports. However, insisting people were shown fakes to protect the real Ark with their faith as strong as ever. If you attack Axum, you attack first of all the identity of Orthodox Tigrayans, but also of all Ethiopian Orthodox Christians, said Wilbert Smith, an ethno-historian who specializes in the region. Axum itself is regarded as a church in a local tradition, Axum Zion. So that's the article. And yeah, actually, the Orthodox Church in Ethiopia is one of the earliest churches to exist there in the
So
world. Yeah,
Ethiopian Orthodox.
yeah, and it's still so there's still a lot of this region is right between basically in between Eritrea, which I think is mostly Muslim, as well as Sudan, which is also Muslim, and it also was in the news because there was a massacre on the Christian and Black African South.
Well, actually, there's two Sudans now. There's
Yeah,
Sudan, which is Muslim, and there's South Sudan, which is uh, a mixture of Christian and traditional African polytheist. So my understanding is that South Sudan, since they got their independence, they've been having some internal issues of different groups fighting each other. Of course, that's probably a topic for another time. But yeah, Ethiopia has all kinds of problems with ethnic violence and also religious violence, with Muslims, being a significant part of the population and also being neighbors to them. I think there's some bad blood between them and Somalia as well. But I don't. An Ethiopian person would have to tell me more about that. But I've seen them hating on each other a lot online in different comment sections and threads and such.
yeah,
So
really. Okay, and Ivor,
they don't like
you're
each other.
more of a more well versed in the Bible than I am. What do you know about the Ark of the Covenant?
I know they made this claim, and it's in their. I guess it's in their church traditions that they have the Ark of the Covenant. I'm skeptical about it because the thing is, the Philistines, they tried to take the Ark of the Covenant in. I think it was the first book of Samuel mentions that, and God afflicted them. Like, they were able to physically take the ark, but God afflicted them with all sorts of plagues until they were compelled to give it back. So I don't see why God would allow some other people group to take the ark, without consequences. And maybe, there's this idea that since Jesus came and died, maybe the ark has lost its physical power. Like, if you were to touch it, maybe you wouldn't die. I don't know, but nobody knows. I don't know that I doubt that they have the real ark. Some people will get angry just that I said that. They'll be offended by that. But I don't think it would make sense for them to have the ark biblically. Maybe if they did have it, they might have taken it after Jesus came and went. I don't see how, like, I mean, all sorts of cultures, they have aggrandizing origin myths. Like the Turks, they have the myth about the doe mating with the wolf, and you have that group called the Grey Wolves, and the Mongols also have it. The Epic of Ergenekon, all that stuff. So there's always stuff like that out there. Doesn't necessarily make it true. Um, and I've heard other claims that the Ark is actually beneath the Temple Mount somewhere, but because of the Muslim presence there, they're not able to go and get it. Um, I think it's impossible to know. Like, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't think it's impossible for them to have the Ark. Maybe if they did have it, I would think maybe they got it like after the sack of Jerusalem. The last Jewish rebellion where the Jews were using the temple complex as a fortress against the Romans, and the Romans came in and they just trashed everything. I could see like maybe the Ark falling into somebody else's hands after that. And if it's after Jesus came, so if the Ark lost its power, maybe they can handle it. But yeah, I'm extremely skeptical of this. I think the chances of it being the actual Ark are extremely small. It's probably something that they did in order to kind of add an icon to their culture.
Yeah, like
Some origin
validity
story.
to the or start a pilgrimage. Yeah, but
That
yeah,
they used to go to the pilgrimages to Jerusalem a lot, and they had to stop when the Muslims took it over. And there was a guy, his name was Lalibela. He was a king. I was actually kind of saving this because I want to do a video on it, but Lalibela, when the Holy Land was cut off, he made like I think it was 12 different sites and named them after sites in the Holy Land, so that people could still kind of go through the motions of a pilgrimage, even though the actual Holy Land was denied to them. And one of the churches, at least one, it has like a cross shape, and they cut it out of a solid rock. Like they started, I guess, chiseling at the top of this rock, and they carved the church out of it. So the whole church is just one rock, one single rock.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely should do a video on that. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been meaning to, but yeah, I doubt it's the actual Ark that they have. I just don't see how they could have it. All sorts of people, they have oral traditions, like even our ancestors, that there's all sorts of things like, oh, this is the true cross, and this is somebody's toe bone, and if you touch it, you'll be healed, and all that stuff. But like, probably it's not true. It's
no, yeah,
probably somebody who's got taking advantage, somebody who wants to just sell something, and like, oh yeah, this is a piece of the true cross. I'll sell it to you for 2 bars of gold or whatever. Like, oh, I don't have 2 bars of gold. What do you have? A bar of silver. Well, here, I wouldn't want to be like, here, I'll give it to you for that bar of silver then. I wouldn't want to
yeah.
cut you off from your
Well, it's
reverence.
important to have artifacts as well. So yeah,
Yeah, how
or
many of the artifacts are real though?
yeah,
Like, I just don't. I don't know. Maybe,
yeah.
but I find it extremely unlikely. And I think even if they could have something there, they probably do. Maybe this guy, because like, okay, the Bible never says that King Solomon had a child with this woman, or that there was anything sexual or romantic between them. Maybe, but then why would they take it back to their homeland? Like, what cultural significance would it have to them? Because originally, all those people were pagan polytheists. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
probably offended, like, if there's any Ethiopian people, I probably offended like a ton of Ethiopian
Well,
nationalists.
maybe that's well, yeah. Hey, I'd love to actually meet some of these people and hear their side of the story. And yeah, I was gonna insert a joke about sending Indiana Jones to find out. What?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think they're gonna make a Indiana Jones movie about that anymore. Now it's gonna be like versus the versus aliens or something with a strong woman character. You know,
No
who doesn't
Nazis.
demand.
Yeah. You can
Nazis are
always.
still bad guys in the
Yeah.
21st century. They're still
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, well, hey, that was our first episode of this new format. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you like it, if you hate it. We're trying out new things every week. Ivor, thank you so much for your comments. You have a ton of Bible knowledge. I should have.
That's right.
Yeah, I appreciate your feedback. And yeah, with that, I want to say see you in the next episode.
Great.